Hi everyone, welcome to my very first vlog. It's about 6:30 in the morning. I've just woken up and I'm a mess. My apartment's a mess. And I thought, why don't I just bring you on an adventure to show you how I get my life together before the week starts. Kyle's over here too. Look at him. He's just sitting on an old computer chair, upside down licking himself. But yeah, so I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna start kind of getting ready for the day and figuring out what things I want to do and how I'm gonna get them done. And don't worry, I know what you're thinking. A simmer doing a vlog? Don't worry, my life isn't over. Nobody left me, nothing happened. And actually, the first thing I see is a pretty full litter box, so why don't we get started with that? So here we are in the laundry room, and the way that I like to do this is I don't like to bend down and lean over the litter box, so I prefer to pick it up and put it on the washing machine before I get going. The other thing I do is I just take my kitchen garbage bin and put it right next to the litter box, just that way I don't get a mess anywhere. The way to scoop litter without making a mess is just take your time. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to get everything in one scoop or it's gonna crumble apart and get all over your floor. Oh God, what did you eat? Anyway, this is not the first thing I wanted to show you in a vlog of mine, but I thought it was important to do first because I want to take a shower, I want to clean other parts of the house, and this is probably the dirtiest task that I have today. It's so weird. He likes to go in the same spots, so some parts of the litter box are overfilled, and some parts don't have anything at all. Oh dear. Also, it's garbage day this week. We don't have garbage day every week, just every other week. We have recycling every week, but this can't be recycled. So I always like to make sure it's done and ready for when the week starts, so that way I can just throw it all out. Oh no, that scoop didn't work out. Another thing I like to do is open the window. So fortunately, there is a window in my bedroom that I can open up whenever it gets a little bit stinky. As you can see, it's pretty cold and snowing outside, but I wouldn't mind a little bit of fresh air anyway. My apartment's a little bit warm. And now Kyle wants to go up and look, so why don't we lift him? Okay, come on, piggy. Get up. Oh my God, he's so big. Ugh. I almost can't lift that much that high. Anyway, let's get back to finishing off the litter box. I just have a little bit more to scoop, then we'll add some clean litter and add something to take the smell away a little bit. Okay, I think that's scooped as much as I can get it. So the first thing I like to do is take this Arm & Hammer litter box powder. It just helps take away a little bit of the stink. I like to put it underneath the old litter and then the new litter on top of it. Sometimes I have to dump out the whole thing and start again, but that also means I have to carry about 20 kilograms of litter home. So this is the litter I'm using. It's just like a regular litter. I don't like those new litters, those holistic, all natural, it's just dirt, right? I like eating nice things, organic things, healthy things, but when it comes to cleaning, I don't mess around. I like litter, bleach, baking soda, things that actually keep things nice and clean. There we go. It's all finished, and I didn't even really make a mess. Okay, so now that that's done, Kyle can hang out by the window up there by himself for a while. I want to get ready to shower, but I think first I'm just going to take out the garbage. In fact, it wouldn't be the worst thing to add some of that baking soda stuff to the bag, but I'm just going to put it outside anyway. And I don't have a back door, so I just go to the front door here and keep everything by there. So that way I can just kind of bring it out on my way to work. I don't have to worry about doing it as a separate chore. And in fact, my address is on the recycle bin, so I'm going to do that by myself. But I have a question for everybody. I do this all the time, and I'm a little bit ashamed of it, but I use my washing machine as a dirty hamper, and then I use my dryer as a clean hamper. So all my clean clothes just sit in the dryer for a few days. I do plan to fold them and put them away though today, not just for the vlog, but because I want to be a functional adult human being. Okay, my dirty clothes are in the washing machine. I'm ready to get started with my shower, and I'll catch you when I'm finished. Here's another thing I want to show you. I always keep 2 towels in the bathroom. The first one, I just kind of dry myself off with it, and the second one, I wrap around me and get the rest of it. I find I'm never completely dry unless I use 2 towels, and I don't even have hair. Oh no, I just put my phone down and it looks like I'm Amberlynn Reed about to do a weigh-in. Okay, I'm all dressed and I just came into the kitchen to see the harsh reality of my neglectful weekend. So I haven't done any cleaning, nothing. There's just stuff all over the place. So I think that's what I'd like to do first. But even before that, I look over to the kettle and I remember I haven't had any coffee today, but I do have a full can of it. So I'm gonna fill up the kettle and we're just gonna have some coffee so that way I can actually really function. It's only me, so I'm just gonna use like my little French press here. It's a Bodum French press. So I'm gonna activate the kettle, make sure I have enough coffee in the can. Oh good, I bought new coffee. I forgot I did that. I remembered it was running low, but I couldn't remember if I bought it or not. And the reason this broken iPhone is sitting here is because it's like my old phone and I smashed it into a million pieces, but it's got some photos on it that I might want. So I've been charging it and going through it. Maybe I'll find something embarrassing and then I can show it all to you. May as well do the Cindy thing and talk about my coffee. So what I'm drinking is the Starbucks caramel coffee. I don't like milk or sugar in my coffee, so I like to get something with a little bit of flavor, but of course I will get something that's not flavored if it is on sale. And I tend to only buy the small ones that fit in this can. I'm not really sure why I do that. I'm normally a fan of buying in bulk, but since I walk for all my groceries, I don't like to get anything too heavy. So I just pour 2 scoops into the French press and pour some water on top, and I kind of let it sit for a few minutes. You can put the lid on for a couple minutes, just don't press it down. And as we can see, Kyle is drinking his water. He was just screaming for food, but if we look at the stove, it is 7:30 and he was fed at 6:30, so he doesn't eat until 5. Poor baby. Yeah, he's sad. But he's gonna rub against me. He still loves me. Okay, the coffee is sat for a couple minutes, so I'm just gonna slowly press this down. Hopefully none of the grinds pop through. Usually it's pretty good. I used to have an off-brand one that was amazing. It never got any grinds in the coffee, but I broke it. I knocked it off the counter and it shattered into a million pieces. So I bought the official Bodum one, and it just doesn't work as well. Like I'm not a name brand obsessed person, but usually they're a little better, but not in this case. And I don't even know the brand of the one that I broke because I bought it at Value Village secondhand and didn't really have anything on it. And even though most of my glasses are on the other side of the kitchen, I keep my coffee mugs right here so I can just pull one down nice and easy and fill up my cup. There we go. We can still hear Kyle screaming in the background. So there's my cup of coffee. I have a little bit left if I want to top up. This is going to give me the energy I need to get through the day and show you what I actually want to do on my day off. Oh, it's so good. And I waited just enough time since my mouthwash so it doesn't taste weird. I like to just move everything, like all the mess to one side so the other side is nice and clear. And once that's done, I like to put my dish rack there just so I have like an area for dirty and an area for clean. But sometimes I just keep the dish rack in the sink when I'm not using it just to give me more space. And the other thing is that currently the hot water isn't working at my kitchen sink, so I like to take this bin down here and I like to fill it up in the bathroom. So I just get the hot water going and I stick it under here, and then I usually just walk away from it for a minute. If I do forget about it for a minute or two, it's okay, because if it overflows, it actually doesn't go like onto the floor. It mostly just stays on the counter or goes down the sink. And while that's going, I just like to make sure that my kitchen sink is all nice and rinsed out, and I like to make sure that I have the stopper ready so I can just fill up the bottom. Here we go. And I just noticed that I'm almost out of dish soap, so I'll have to see what's on sale when we go out shopping. Okay, it's been about a minute, and as you can see, the bin is getting full. I'm gonna do this 2 times. I like to keep one bin full for rinsing the dishes too, and I can't do it with one hand, so I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so when I'm doing dishes, I'm not wearing anything nice right now, but sometimes I am because I'll do them like on the way to work or something. So I like to grab my apron and I like to grab my dish gloves just in case like I'm all ready for the day and I don't want to get anything else on me. It's not the most flattering thing in the world, but it is a nice little, like, it makes me feel so domestic. And before I tackle the dishes, I'm actually just gonna throw out these beer bottles and like random garbage. I'm not a big drinker. I don't drink usually, but I did drink on Friday and I just kind of left the mess out. And I figured if I'm gonna do a vlog, like, I don't want to make it like my life in the perfect day. Like, it was a bit of a mess and I'm just trying to get myself back together. And I just noticed I still have a little bit of Pinot Noir left, so I might have that tonight. And actually the first thing I'm gonna wash is the wine glass because it's the most fragile. So if I just wash it and kind of put it away quickly, then I don't have to worry about smashing it with a pot or a pan. There we go. And once it's clean, I have like the white water bin here kind of next to the dish rack, and I just give it a little dunk, swirl it around so it's all rinsed off from the soap, and then I just leave it in the dish rack like so. And while that dries, I can get the rest of the dishes ready. So I just like to put the rest of the cups, sometimes the plates, just to soak in the water a little bit to make cleaning a little bit easier. Despite how big the mess was, there's not a lot of dishes. I just have like a couple bowls, a couple plates, and a couple glasses. Again, living by yourself, the mess shouldn't get too big, but of course, sometimes it does. Ew, speaking of which, I remember I made poutine gravy and I just left this water in here so it could soak, and it just smells interesting. So I'll have to get rid of that too. Okay, I think I'm set up for success. So let's get these dishes done. So usually what I do is I scrub off a few dishes like I've just done, and then I rinse them all together, and then I dry them all together. I kind of do it in like batches, almost like making cookies. And speaking of the batches, the wine glass is just about dry. So I'm just gonna take it out of the dish rack, give it a few shakes, make sure you're not near a counter, and I'm gonna put it away. And in fact, I keep the wine glasses right above the coffee mugs. The rest rest of my glasses are actually above you. I like to keep all my dishes on this side where the sink is so it's easier to put away. And then on the other side of the oven, that's where I keep all the food. Okay, we're about halfway done through the dishes. So let's just stay on track and get this done, because I always find that once the dishes are done, it makes the rest of the chores a lot easier. Oh no, I forgot about my coffee. Let's have a sip. Fortunately, I have a kitchen island so I can just reach over. Oh good, it's still hot. In fact, a little too hot. I'm glad I forgot about it. Now the other thing I'm gonna do is just rotate the dish rack so that way the mat is hanging over the sink here, because it's getting a little bit drippy. Oh, I just found the bowl that I ate the poutine in. So I've got gravy in that bowl. I've got gravy on this whisk. Whisks get a lot dirtier than you might think. So the next time you're washing one, make sure there's nothing hiding underneath the top or in between the wires. Of course, it'll depend on the type of whisk you have and what you most recently mixed with it. But at the same time, it's just one of those places that I find goes neglected. And if I'm at someone else's house cooking or like doing some baking, then I always check their whisk. And if it's dirty, I scrub it. Okay, that's it for the normal dishes. Why don't we move on to the pots and pans and stuff? And in fact, I don't know where I'm gonna dump the gravy because I filled the sink with water. Okay, I dumped it. And I think I'm just gonna take a paper towel and we're just gonna wipe the bottom so we don't get the water too dirty. Now this will be the last thing I wash. I always wash the dirtiest stuff last because I don't want to use more water than I have to. Okay, that's about as good as paper towel is gonna do. So all I have left is like the pot, this spatula, and this baking sheet. So like all the dirty oven stuff. And I've noticed that my first batch isn't completely dry. And since I don't have a lot of dishes for the second batch, I'm just gonna add them on top of it. And some things don't really need to dry in the drying rack. Like I have a space for my cutting boards, a space for pot and pans, so I can put them other parts in the kitchen. In fact, sometimes I just clean the cutting board right here on the counter. It just gives me a better grip. And since I'm a vegetarian and don't put raw meat on my cutting board, sometimes like if I've chopped like vegetables on it or onion and I just want to use it for something else later, I'll just flip it. And I never remember if I flipped it, so I always scrub both sides just in case. Okay, I'm gonna start putting some of these dishes away. This lighting is unbecoming. I like to keep all the glasses on the first shelf. I like to keep all the plates and the bowls and stuff on the second. And on the third one, on the top one here, I put all my containers where I can put leftovers. Oh wow, this lighting is so much better. I thought I was ugly for a second, my goodness. I'll settle for dopey average. So here I am at my PC. Kyle is screaming to get let out the window, even though that's never happened before. I'm here because I forgot to upload a video. I've had a video done for a couple days. It's how to get some free stuff off the Sims 3 store. But it's a short video. I just don't have a thumbnail for it. So I'm gonna make the thumbnail, I'm gonna upload the video, and I'm just gonna show you like a little bit behind the scenes how it goes. Okay, so I've spent about a half hour. I think I've got the thumbnail done. I'm a little bit out of practice with making video thumbnails if I'm being honest, but I think it came together and I think it gets the message across. Anyway, I'm just gonna look over to the other monitor and I'm just gonna test out the video a little bit to make sure everything sounds good, looks good, and I don't have any problems. Anyway, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with the process, uploading a YouTube video is not really that difficult. You just have to go to your YouTube studio. So basically to upload a YouTube video, you just have to go to your studio page here. I'm just blocking the money. And then you go into the corner here and there's a little button that says create. So you click on that. If you were gonna do a live stream, you click go live. This is to create a community tab post, but I'm just gonna click upload videos. And you can upload several videos at once, but I'm not that proactive. So I'm just gonna take my one video here called The Sims Free, and we're gonna drag it into the box here. Yay, it's uploading. So I'm just gonna go back to my thumbnail and I'm gonna make sure that it's exported and it's in the right size. You always wanna make sure it's 1280 by 720 pixels. And I like to put it right to my desktop just so I can like throw it right on the video. Usually I just archive them a little bit later. Okay, so back on my desktop, I can see the thumbnail here. So I'm just gonna make sure I have the thumbnail area on the YouTube video and I'm gonna take this and just drag it over. Okay, so I've gone through and I've sorted out the details, I've sorted out the monetization, the video elements, which are like the end screens and stuff. And YouTube has checked the video, and since it's all original stuff other than the Sim soundtrack, which is not copyrighted, that everything is under control and I got the green check marks. So that means I'm ready to post. So I'm just gonna go to visibility. Sometimes I'll plan these ahead of time. I like my videos to go out kind of just before noon. And right now it's 8:54 in the morning. So that's not too bad. I think I'm just gonna post it right away. In fact, the complicated part is making the video. Oh no, I forgot to turn on my pretty light. Anyway, that's all there is to it. It's not super complicated. You just click post, go to sleep, and then wake up to see if anyone watched it. Who am I kidding? People are gonna watch this one. I clickbaited the hell out of it. And that's it for my hard day as a Sims YouTuber. So we have the rest of the day to finish cleaning, get some shopping done, and have a little bit of fun. So it's been a little bit since I saw you last. It's about 10 in the morning, and I realized I didn't eat anything today, and I don't really have a lot of groceries. If you can tell by my fridge, it's pretty empty. So that's why I wanted to go shopping today, and I thought maybe maybe I can get something to eat when I go out shopping, but I don't feel like going yet. So I'm gonna make an omelet now just so I have something in my body. Black coffee is not a meal. I've been preheating this orange frying pan here. I recently bought it. I bought a cheap kind of pots and pan set when I first moved in, just so I'd be able to cook things, but they're not really the best quality and I don't really want to use some of the things it came with. So I invested in a new frying pan. I usually only need one frying pan, one baking sheet, and one pot to boil things. I like cooking, but I'm lazy, so I don't like to clean up too much. Okay, it's sizzling, so that means it's probably ready. Again, since I'm frugal, like I bought margarine the last time I got groceries. Sometimes I buy butter if it's on sale. Sometimes I'll get a margarine I like if it's on sale. Like I'm not super committed to any particular things. There's a few things here or there. If I come across them, I'll let you know. But like for me, half off is always best. Like, am I really gonna notice the difference? Okay, I just use a spatula, get everything all nice and greased. I don't like to use too much. I just like to use enough so that way it doesn't stick. For some types of eggs, I like them a little greasier, but for an omelet, I like it to be dry and fluffy. Same when I do a frittata. Okay, so the butter is inside and I'm just gonna dump it in and see what happens. Very nice. Usually I have the temperature up a little higher for an omelet. There's a few different ways you can cook it. I've just been trying out a few new things. I used to do the Julia Child way where you get the pan like on really high heat, burn the butter a little bit, throw in the eggs and then just stir it around. But I find if you want more volume in your omelet, it's better to cook it at a lower temperature and just let it sit for a bit. That way it's almost like half frittata, half omelet. And I thought maybe to help it fluff up, I just grabbed a lid to throw on. Now this lid did not come with the pan. It came with that pots and pan set that I bought earlier, but it fits perfectly. Okay, it's a little bit wet, but I think I could flip it. Let's see if I can flip it without using the spatula or the flipper. I find it turns out better if you are accurate. So let's see. Oh no, it's like stuck. Okay, that actually worked out a little bit. It looks like an omelet in the pan, so that's a nice start. I also like my eggs cooked completely. I don't mind like over easy or sunny side up if I'm dunking things, but for eggs, I usually like it cooked to a solid state. I don't like any liquidy whites. It grosses me out. There we go. It flipped again. Yay. I just have to flatten it a little bit, but it looks pretty good. Next, I'm just going to grab a plate. I think it's pretty much done cooking. Eggs don't take very long, right? And I don't really have shakers, so I'm just going to grab out my spice basket. I like to put a little bit of fresh parsley or dried parsley on top of my omelet. Half of it's kind of for decoration, but you know, it just gives it a little freshness. So there is my omelet. Let's try and fold it over. It's a little uneven, but it still looks like an omelet. I'm just going to take the parsley flakes, crush them up, and just sprinkle it on top like so. And you can use a little bit extra to like decorate the plate too. Just make it a little bit more fancy. I'm gonna turn off the burner because I never remember to do that. When I'm on like the metro to work, sometimes like I don't like to cook anything in the morning, but if I do, I spend the whole day wondering, did I turn off the stove? Okay, so I got a fresh fork, I got my omelet ready, and we're ready to eat. So here I am eating at the little kitchen island thing. I don't have a dining table. I didn't think it was important. I don't really have space for it in my apartment. And on top of that, how often would I really be using it? So I've got this nice little island. It can kind of sit 3 people comfortably. And I don't think I've ever had more than 2 people over in the last 5 years. It's very good. And it's fluffy. I always like the salt and pepper mixed into the omelet. I just find it like spreads out a little bit more. I don't like putting salt and pepper on food after it's been cooked because you're not salting the food, you're salting your tongue, then eating the food. It has to be like mixed in. And the parsley flakes just give it a nice fresh touch. I don't love eggs. I tend to eat them mostly because they're nutritionally good for me. If they're done really well, then I kind of enjoy them. That's why I'm picky with the eggs. I'm like, I just want to do the egg my way and the way I like it. I'm not a meat eater. That stuff kind of grosses me out. So I know that things like eggs are important for like proteins and like other kinds of nutrients that are a little bit harder to get in vegetables. Okay, that's it for my omelet. And since it's not Chinese food, I'm not gonna lick the plate. And this is the best part about the island because you're kind of sitting by the sink and I just kind of put the plate up here and bam, I'm done. That's why the island got so dirty to begin with. Okay, I'm done the omelet. I'm glad I ate it. I feel pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of tidy up the kitchen, the mess I made in the clean kitchen, just so that way everything's back to the way it was. And actually, before I go, why don't I show you the completed look? So this is the jacket and the scarf. Like I said, it is freezing outside. Like we've got snow on the ground, a little bit's falling, it's a little bit windy. So I have to make sure that I'm dressed for the weather. Oops, I forgot to do a button. I gotta do up my middle button here. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Vous sélectionnez, utilisez le clavier NIP pour compléter la transaction.
So I'm back home with the groceries, and I thought a nice way to end this off would be just to do like a little grocery haul. So I'm just gonna take out everything I bought. I didn't really have any particular plan. My only thing was that I wanted to do a $100 budget, and I spent 101, so that's pretty close. First up, let's start with the healthy stuff. I got a cucumber here. I've got some romaine lettuce. I got some crispy minis. I'm just kidding. I know that they're not healthy. I got a lemon. I got a few blood oranges and some blueberries. So that about does it for fruit and vegetables. Usually I get a little bit more, but I still got a good stock of frozen things that I can use this week. And typically what I do, like now my counter is getting full, I tend to put all the non-refrigerated stuff on one side of the kitchen and all the refrigerated stuff on the other. Speaking of which, we got some pub fries, some pizza pops, and I got some nice Italian bread here for my lunch sandwiches. There's 5 buns in here and I work 5 days a week, so that's perfect. That's actually what I got the Swiss cheese for as well. Oh, and I got cheese curds so I can make more poutine. I know I mentioned butter and margarine earlier in this video, and this time I got salted butter because this was like half price. It was like $3.50. Usually it's like $8. And then a few crackers and granola bars and stuff just to take to work as well. Well, that does it for the day in my life. I don't really know what else to say, but thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Or more Sims videos. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing vlogs like this. I just thought I would try it out, see how it felt, and see what the reaction was to it. And I know I don't have ring lights and I accidentally shot this whole thing vertical, but I just thought I would just try something different. But anyway, thanks again. The next time I see you is probably gonna be in The Sims 3. So we'll see you next time. Boom.